Welcome to Big Five and Startup City Talks. This is your host, Abe Seksek, and today I have my guest, Cinar, CEO of Catalyst. Hi, Cinar, how are you?
Good, how are you, Abe? Good to see you.
Good to see you too, always good to see you. It's been a while. So, let me just talk briefly about what I do. My name is Abe Seksek. I'm a serial entrepreneur, currently the CEO of MENA and Russia for Startupbootcamp, an early startup for accelerator for early startups in the region. Cinar, please tell me more about what you do.
Well, I'm the head of the Catalyst, which is the region's, maybe the world's first accelerator that's focusing on sustainability. It is an initiative led by Masdar and BP, and it is pretty much the only one in its kind in the world that only supports startups in 5 verticals, which are energy efficiency, recycling and building technologies, of course, agrotech, food security, and efficiency and AI related and environment related projects. We have at this moment 2 startups per vertical. And they are all potential IP creators, and they are applying for their IP. So it's not just a business in that sense. And over the last 3 years, we became an accelerator that supports hardware development along with the software. So it's either a platform or some kind of a scientific result that was originated from a research and development that becomes a business, or again another type of technology that we are supporting. So it's seriously it's quite different for us. And we're located in Masdar City Tech Park. We're glad to be here with Masdar's great support, and of course we work very closely with Masdar and BP teams from all over the world.
Fantastic. And so I really want to hear more about the sustainability aspect. Tell me what's happening with the sustainability on the startup scene.
Well, it's quite good nowadays, but of course the pandemic kind of slowed down. I mean, yes, we all moved into online, and since 1997 I'm working online. I mean, this is not new for people. The only thing that is changing, especially when you talk about sustainability, you have to have field work that you're always hands-on, you're always creating things. So you have to be on the outside world to really do your research and development, application and acceptance, of course, with the different entities. So it's a great topic in terms of funding these startups. And really, even though it kind of looks scary for some people, some investors, it actually, especially the recycling zone, the recycling sector, it actually brings a lot of interesting ideas to the table to create, of course, revenue that nobody is really looking. They were not looking for it until now.
Yeah.
So we are quite pleased with the applications that we receive over the years. We are very selective, of course, in that sense, because you cannot just go ahead and support every startup, unfortunately. But we do have a good amount of sustainable groups that are really conscious about the future of our world. And I don't think it's anymore about how much money you're really making. Yes, the revenue side is very important. We all understand that.
Yeah.
But the hard part is to bring the startups that are focusing on, again, sustainability, that are making revenue. This is the hardest part. And we are doing it. It's working. So I suggest other sectors to follow up as well.
Nice. So and how are you seeing construction companies associating with the sustainability startups? Are they engaging? Are they beginning to have conversations? Like, I want to know more about that as well.
Well, Masdar is a good pilot playground. I mean, seriously, they are extremely helpful for these type of ideas to come up to life with their technologies. The most I'm seeing nowadays is the building management systems that are acting on their own, learning from the sensors that they are connected to, mostly through Wi-Fi, and they come up with some results that the building management should act upon. But of course, we are seeing, because Masdar is a district, let's say in our terms, it's a city, but also in a smaller city it will be a district. You can bring pretty much like autonomous vehicles, which we have one brand that they are doing their testing. You can bring anything electrically moving. You can even bring flying machines to see, as long as they get the approval from the authorities.
Sure.
And of course, the solar renewable energy creation is a complete big deal. Energy storage, we have one company. They're really working. So as long as the building or the contractors or the site owners are aware of these technologies, then they can put in on the architecture plans that, especially the MEP works, the mechanical, electrical, plumbing works, that these items can be utilized in the buildings. So if I can, create the energy from solar or any renewables and just keep it in the apartment through this energy storage system, then it's a complete different story. But one thing we also see is that everything, yes, we love sustainability, we love the green technologies and all that, but do they meet the regulation? This is the most important, because in some cases, unfortunately, you need to educate people so that some items can be part of the regulative manners, because we're looking for 21st century, 22nd century technology. So it's taken some time, but we're glad that UAE is extremely open for these startups, and obviously they have a home here. So this is how it's going right now, but we're very, very optimistic.
Sustainability right now, I think, is not the hottest topic when it comes to investment. How are you seeing your startups, being receptive to that topic itself?
Well, we are an initial, of course, seed investor, right? So the funding that we provide for 12 months to 18 months, it's quite sufficient, because we also provide residence for startups that are coming from abroad. So they really have a place to live, work, and play. So we cover that side. But 1 year, technically, a company needs about 2.5 to 3 years to come up to live and really be a good corporation with a good corporate identity, so they can start selling their laboratory. So right now, some of our startups, of course, they sold units, they sold their systems, and they leased their systems before. But with this funding, they're also looking how can they make it the next version better. So some of them are already in their second version of their equipment. So the old one, the first one that they sold, that they came with us as an MVP, it's a legacy model. So we give them room to grow into a second model with new client database. So in the investment side, what we see is people are cautious. Of course, this is an interesting times. Financial, I don't want to get into all the details, but certainly, today we have this, everybody talks, yes, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. And now I think one of the mega groups looking into how they can utilize it, and boom, the price goes up, skyrocket. So can that be utilized in buildings or in zones? Definitely. Listen, I mean, like Masdar has a renewable energy creation from solar and etc. I'm sure in the world, many places, many villages, many cities, they have either a wind turbine or a solar farm. So can they generate these coins and integrate together? I'm not saying blockchain. Blockchain is a complex. But can they do this exchange? I give you the energy in exchange of a Bitcoin, and then you go to in that vicinity, be all sustainable. Of course, it's going there. This is completely inevitable. But again, to find more money from investors at this moment is, if you are unique, And if you have a good business plan with a good clientele, future clientele lists that you're thinking to hit on, then I'm sure they will be able to find the funding. But if it's not, of course, the AI you have to have some kind of software in this, whatever you do, unless you are really looking into materials. That we have one company, for example, that you cannot AI it. It has to be coming from recycled materials into another useful material. So those type of scientifics, of course, it's impossible. Yeah. But there's really room, and we give access, of course, to this type of startups from the world.
Because we're an emerging market, so we need the infrastructure projects as well as on top of that. And I think that's where that would come in to play. You know, we need a lot of basic companies to come in and just build the infrastructure. So, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, I completely agree with you. I mean, especially this, everybody's talking about 5G, right? If you ask me, okay, 5G, you push 100, 200, whatever the download rates. But let's not forget, we had Iridium long time back. I worked on it, by the way. And it was since 1997. This is the sample that I gave you earlier. I've been working remote from 1997. This is how many years from today? Like, I mean, you calculate 24, 25 years almost. Okay. So, and people this last year learned to be online workers.
Yeah.
Right. So all this money that's been, spent for construction, most of the companies in Europe right now, they are mandating their workers to come up, clean up your desk, because all the floors, they're minimizing the floor usage, and they're making the floors for everyone to come and plug their computer to Wi-Fi system and work. This is Starbucks. I don't want to, give some kind of a...
Sure.
But it is the fact. So, and it's not new to us, but somehow everybody is thinking that, oh, this is a new thing. No, it's not. So with this satellite communication that, Elon Musk is putting up there, which is very interesting, with 5G is coming. So imagine the combination and the data that you can actually create. I'm kind of in the platform side. I love the platforms that you use it, but I also love the hardware side, because you cannot trust everybody's hardware, because you don't know how the system is being produced, what kind of accreditation they have, and what kind of standards they fit into. So that's why we like, hardware and software joint companies. As a matter of fact, we've seen few startups that are really interesting, that takes any information from outside, and they optimize it, and they come up with efficient solutions for that sector. So for the building side, for the construction area, I mean, from the workers' safety to put a system on their shoulder, or how the cars are running around, electric construction machinery is coming up with big batteries and things like that. I think we'll see a lot of differences in that sense. But of course, this is a hard part of the world. It's not easy to get this experience on the ground. But I always say to our startups, if you can succeed in UAE or in the Gulf region, you can succeed anywhere in the world. This is what I see.
It's great. And honestly, Cinar, we can talk about this for for the next hour. So believe me, between my experience and your experience, but we are very limited for time. So I want to thank you again for coming on to the show. And once again, thank you for tuning in to our episode. Please visit www.startupcity.ae to see more episodes and to know more about the Big 5 event. Thank you very much. Take care.